with MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Dax McCarty, he retired from playing last year after an amazing career. Now he's a studio analyst for MLS Season Pass, which you can get on Apple TV, and he joins us on Ohio Sports Magazine. How sad that you never played for the Crew. Columbus is tons of fun. Come on, Dax.
I know Columbus is fun, Jay. Every time I went to Columbus, I had a great time. Very underrated town.
19-year career. That is amazing. I won't tell you how many years I'm celebrating come July because that'll give my age away. Soccer in North America has obviously exploded, and not just because of Ted Lasso. How will excitement continue to build ahead of the World Cup next year?
Well, you're right, Jay. Soccer has never been in a better place than it is right now in this country. A little devastated that I had to hang up the boots because of all the excitement surrounding the game right now. If you just look at 2025, building into the World Cup, you have the FIFA Club World Cup, you have the Gold Cup, you have the groundbreaking tournament between Liga MX and MLS in Leagues Cup with a brand new format that's going to be very exciting for fans. And then you have MLS All-Star Game in Austin, Texas in July. There's just so much soccer to consume for fans in this country. And this all leads into what, in my opinion, will be the biggest World Cup of our lifetime here in 2026, right here in the U.S., in partnership with Canada and Mexico. I don't think there's ever been a better time to be a soccer fan in this country than right now.
You know, it's interesting what has happened with broadcasting sports over the course of the last few years. I'm going to sound like my grandfather right now, but back in my day, in my day when, you know, we wanted to watch sports, we were able to turn on a local affiliate and find our local teams. That's no longer the case. Why did Apple TV get involved in streaming Major League Soccer?
I think you have to follow the trends, and you have to follow what the market is dictating, Jay. And the market is dictating that we're seeing a shift towards more streaming. Sports and streaming apps are becoming more prominent players in the broadcast game. And MLS and Apple have both been innovators in their own respective ways. And now that they have teamed up and combined, it's really made for a really pleasant viewing experience, I think, for all fans. There are no blackouts. There are no restrictions. You want to go on vacation? No problem. Just bring your smartphone or your smart device with you, and you can still watch your team play. You can still watch the Columbus Crew and Wilfried Nancy play that beautiful attacking soccer that they do if you're on a beach in Mexico. That's no problem. And so, for me, it's extremely innovative. You see that other sports are starting to lean more into the streaming platforms, and Apple and Major League Soccer are innovative when it comes to that.
Now, we joked earlier about Ted Lasso, and I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, that there's actually going to be a season 4 of the Apple series. Do you think that that series, which was widely popular, do you think that that had an impact on Americans' interest in the sport?
I do, Jay, because I'm going to say something semi-blasphemous right now, and I apologize in advance, but I have not had the chance yet to watch Ted Lasso. And so all my friends that have been talking about it, I feel left out of the conversation. Now, in my defense, I have 2 young children, so watching TV shows these days, it gets harder and harder. But when people talk about the game in this country, you want to have it involved in the mainstream. And Ted Lasso, I think, has brought the sport of soccer into the mainstream. It's an extremely likable, relatable show. That's what I hear from everyone who's watched it. I promise I will get around to watching it, but I absolutely think Ted Lasso has had a major effect on the game in this country.
Well, we're going to have another conversation when you do and see what you think. Lionel Messi is obviously a big name. There are lots of other big names, and that is impacting interest in the sport. Besides besides Lionel Messi, who are you watching right now?
Well, yeah, listen, Lionel Messi, he requires no explanation. He's the greatest player that's ever lived. He's must-see box office TV every time he steps on the field. But MLS has a lot of great players in their league, a lot of stars, some of them young and up-and-coming, like a Diego Luna, a Jack McGlynn, a Brian Gutierrez, all players who are just starting to break into our U.S. men's national team and potentially represent our country at the 2026 World Cup. And then you have players that are shattering transfer records in Major League Soccer, guys like Emmanuel Latte-Lot, guys like Kevin Denke. You have the MLS Golden Boot leader right now, an Israeli named Ty Baribo. There's just so many exciting players in MLS. It's really hard to pinpoint a few, but I will say that this league, every time you turn on a game, doesn't matter who's playing, Jay, you're going to see excitement. You're going to see good up-and-coming young players.
The Columbus Crew lost two of their best players in the offseason. And despite the fact that they're off to a good start, how do players on a team respond when your all-stars end up going either to another team in the league or, in the case of one of them, to another country?
Yeah, this is the nature of professional sports. Anytime you have success as a club, that usually means that your players are going to be sought after, and your players have had successful seasons. And so, I believe you're talking about Cucho Hernandez, who, for my money, was the best player not named Lionel Messi in MLS last year.
Exactly.
Anytime you lose a player like that, it's going to be difficult to replace him. But that's why you have a squad. That's why you have a squad of 25 to 30 players, and you have roster depth, and you have good up-and-coming young players. Canadian international Jason Russell-Rowe, he's been growing. And listen, he's not going to be able to replace everything that Cucho Hernandez did, but he's a very good player in his own right. And in my opinion, Jay, you guys down there in Columbus have the best coach in MLS in Wilfred Nancy. So it's a next man up mentality. His system, his principles, his philosophy, how he sees the game, how he wants to play the game, that's all conducive to young players stepping up into bigger roles and growing. Just become an Apple subscriber, Apple TV, but Apple also has partnerships with Comcast, with DirecTV. Even if you're an Android user, you can get the Apple TV app on Android now. It's available. They want to make the game accessible to as many people as possible. It's been truly a groundbreaking partnership, and Apple is at the forefront of it.
It was an absolute pleasure to speak with you today, and there is more Ohio Sports Magazine straight ahead on the Ohio News Network.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, 80% lean Kroger brand ground beef is on sale. 3-pound packages are $3.99 a pound with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
This is big. Rent-A-Center's biggest discount is on. From April 6th to April 12th, take 50% off the total cost to own on all items in-store or online, only at Rent-A-Center. 50% off offer reduces the total amount necessary to acquire ownership pursuant to rental purchase agreement. Offer valid on new agreements entered into April 6, 2025 through April 12, 2025. Participating locations only.
Hey, Ohio State fans. While others cut corners, like that team up north, Valvoline Instant Oil Change is Buckeye-level quality. We train hard and treat every day like game day. We're always quick, but never rushed. And you can stay in your car while our experts do the work. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Visit valvoline.com/Buckeyes to find your nearest location and access exclusive fan savings.
Save big money on your next staining project right now at Menards. Pittsburgh's ultra-advanced semi-transparent exterior stain and sealant in one can be applied on damp wood, allowing you to clean the surface and stain in one day. Save big on ultra-advanced exterior stain and sealant. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
When you reach for UDF's new pizza, you're getting more than just a quick slice. You're getting family recipe focaccia dough, handcrafted in our bakery. You're biting into a hot, crispy crust. You're tasting delicious sauce and loads of meaty, cheesy flavor. You might even be burning the roof of your mouth on that first bite, but that's okay. It's a good burn. UDF makes more than just pizza. We make pizza for you. New Sicilian-style pizza from United Dairy Farmers at participating locations. UDF, made for you.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. April is a great time to spruce up around your house, especially during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now. There's no limit to how much you could save, and if you buy a house full of windows, they'll include a free entry door, too. Plus, you could get new windows and pay nothing until 2027. Just imagine what you could do with all that extra money. Hurry, the sale ends soon, so don't wait to schedule your estimate. Call them today, 866-90NATION, or visit windownation.com. Once again, that's 866-90NATION, or visit windownation.com.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
In high school athletics, spring sports had begun, and Kelly Shanley joins us on Ohio Sports Magazine to talk about girls softball. Welcome. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Fast pitch softball is what we're talking about. How fast are these pitches?
In high school, I would range probably between like 50 and 65 miles an hour, depending on the athlete.
But that's still fast.
Oh, it's really fast. It's only 43 feet, so it's very quick, yes.
So when we think about high school fast pitch girls softball, how many divisions are there?
Right now it's 7. This will be our first year. We used to be 4 last season, so now we'll be at 7 across the state, and it's going to be an exciting year.
What prompted the move from 4 to 7?
You know, the OHSAA has done this across various sports. A lot of it has to do with competitive balance, where you have athletes, at Division I level that were very big schools, and the lower end of Division I was a significantly different number of enrollment. So they tried to balance it out across the schools and just make it a little bit more even playing field for everybody.
I've always felt that high school spring sports were crammed into a tighter time frame than fall and winter. Is that the case?
I don't think so. I mean, they start practice in February and they go all the way to June, so we have quite a few months. And once we want to get the nice weather, so we give it a minute to get started in Ohio.
How many regular season games are there?
So there will be an opportunity to play 27 regular season games.
And are there back-to-back games, or do these teams get a break in between?
So typically they'll play one game a night if it's a league game or, conference game type thing. But if they, on the weekend, sometimes they'll play in a tournament. Maybe they'll play 2 in a day. They are allowed one exemption to play 3 games in one day, which is a lot. But if they have, a bigger roster, they can, rotate the kids around. But I wouldn't suggest pitching one kid 3 days. So hopefully they have a couple pitchers there on staff.
When is the big tournament and how does it work?
Okay, so this year will be different, slightly different. With 7 divisions, we're going to do a 5-day tournament, and all the divisions will come up to Akron Firestone Stadium, which is its 100th commemorative year of being open for sports. And the divisions will go back-to-back days, so they'll have their semifinals one day, finals the next. So we'll have 21 total games across the 7 divisions from June 4th, which is a Wednesday, to June 8th set on a Sunday. So it'll be 5 straight days of 21 games of softball. It'll be great. Are there individual awards like they are in other sports, like for pitching or hitting? Not specifically, but we do. The Coaches Association has an All-Ohio team, and they will select a player of the year, not necessarily a pitcher or a hitter or whatever, just the best player. And they'll have, first team All-Ohio, second team an honorable mention. So there's opportunities for the kids to get recognized, also in conference. So they'll have multiple opportunities to get some accolades throughout the year. Now, Mount Vernon, and I hope I pronounce this correctly, Archbishop Hoban are 2 of the big teams. Is that correct? Yes, it is. There's quite a few returning teams that did really well. Austintown Fitch as well, although they had a big pitcher who went to college early this year, so she will not be returning for their season. But yeah, we have quite a few. It'll be interesting to see across the 7 divisions where the teams kind of spread out, and the competition will be, different new teams will come up to the top, and that competition will be, new and fresh. So we're looking forward to that. I know that when we've talked about high school basketball in the past, for example, Dayton seems to come up. And then we talked about high school football and parts of Northeast and Southwest Ohio come up. Is there any section of the state that stands out more than others in terms of girls softball? I definitely think that there are more teams in the Northeast, and so therefore more opportunities for more teams to rise up. But I do think the talent is spread across the state. The interesting thing about softball is in the summertime, these kids will play the different kids from all over the place will get together and play on these club teams and across state lines even. And so the talent is just really spread out, and you might have 2 really good kids on this team and 3 on that team, but it's a matter of how do you get an entire roster of kids to play together. And I think that just by numbers, the Northeast has the best representation. However, I think there's talent all across the state for sure. Are there any standout players we should be watching this year? Oh, gosh. Now you put me on the spot. Just name one. There are several. There's a really exciting player. Her name's Jenna Mannon. She plays at Lancaster. She's an up-and-coming kid that's really hot on the scene. Like I mentioned, the girl from Austintown Fitch, I'm actually pretty bummed that she went to college early because I wanted to see if she could do a repeat this year. But her name is Sydney Watts, and she's playing down at Georgia Tech. But I have to get a little more familiar. I don't want to leave any kids out, so it's feel terrible just naming a couple, but I think Jenna's probably a star in the making. Oh, and actually one of her teammates, Ashlyn Lowry, she's going to LSU next year, so she's also a very talented kid, and I hope that they get to make it far into the postseason so I can see them. All right, we want to thank Kelly Shanley from the Ohio High School Athletic Association for joining us, and there is more Ohio Sports Magazine straight ahead right here on the Ohio News Network.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Tomorrow.
Nearly 90% of Ohio's children grow up, learn, and dream at one of our public schools. As lawmakers continue to hammer out the new state budget, they must make sure the school funding formula reflects what it actually costs to provide a great education for everyone. Tell your lawmakers to keep their promise to Ohio's kids.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Now, let's check in with Matt Andrews for this week's Ohio Broadcaster Roundtable.
Welcome back to this week's Ohio Sports Magazine. Our good friend Paul Barnes has assisted on Buckeye baseball, Buckeye hockey for a number of years. Paul, let's start with your broadcasting history and your career. How'd you get involved in radio and play-by-play, and just why the love for what you do?
Well, it's something I started, Matt, as a senior in high school at Thomas Jefferson High School, Bloomington, Minnesota. People there knew I loved sports and had a passion for it. The high school girls team there was top ranked in the state. They were on cable access television, and they needed a play-by-play announcer, so they came to me. I had no experience, obviously, at that point. I'm 17 years old, and from there on out, it was just a love of doing it. It instantly hit me. It was like a bug. So that was on TV, but in radio, I got started in college at the University of Minnesota, the campus student radio station there, WMMR, and just something about radio play-by-play. It's like an art, and I enjoyed it right from the start, and covering University of Minnesota athletics, Big Ten school in a big city. It was thrilling. It was exciting, and that's really the genesis of all that career in broadcasting, how it took off, really.
And you kind of, Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of had a little bit of a mentor in John Anderson, the longtime head baseball coach at Minnesota, assisting you along the way in terms of helping you develop kind of how you do baseball, right?
For sure. John, one of the legendary coaches, not just in the Big Ten, but college baseball, was there so long. And he really took me under his wing, and along with John Anderson, the coach at Minnesota, Ryan Lefevre, who was an All-American center fielder there, later became a broadcaster. He's been the Kansas City Royals' primary TV announcer for about 25 years now. So he was really instrumental as well. But back to Coach Anderson, he was kind of a guy who treated me almost like a player. I was the same age as the players at the time, and doing commercial radio, being so young, if it weren't for his guidance and just working with me and being patient with me, I don't think I would have succeeded doing what I was doing. So certainly, definitely crediting John Anderson and Ryan Lefevre early on with developing that interest and helping me gain experience that I desperately needed at that point.
And Paul, now you've done a number of Buckeye stuff, helping out with Buckeye baseball a few years ago, helping out this year with Buckeye baseball, and you've helped out as well with Buckeye hockey. How has that kind of all come together for you since your move here to Ohio State? Because this is not your day job, folks. Folks need to understand that. Paul's very talented with what he's doing on the side with stuff as well, right?
Correct. So it basically started at WOSU. I'd gotten to know Herb Hauenstein. A lot of our listeners might remember Herb doing Buckeye baseball, women's basketball, and hockey. I had known him developing a relationship when I was covering the Minnesota Golden Gophers. I moved to town to take a real day job, as they say. And at that point, he needed a fill-in and knew he could rely on me. And it kind of started from there, doing Buckeye hockey and baseball in WOSU. And as the years progressed, I formed a relationship with Skip Mossick, and the people at the station there know me that, Neil Sika, who's the voice of Ohio State hockey on the air there, suggested me as a backup. And every good announcer needs a backup, I think, and I'm more than content with that role. And so kind of spawned from there when I moved back to Columbus, got to know Herb, did some Buckeye athletics, and, through the years I've been right there. If they ever need a fill-in, I'm the guy.
Paul Barnes is our guest. We're proud to call you our friend. Let's talk about the creativity of the craft. Describing sports on the radio, Paul. Tell me about the challenges and how you embrace that in terms of creating the vividness of what's going on in the mind for people that can't see it.
Well, it's just that. We have a colleague, Chuck Howard, who was an engineer at WOSU, who is blind, and he actually was the broadcast engineer. How he conducted himself, being a top-notch engineer, I marvel at that. And he just said to me, the key to good play-by-play on the radio is to, create that picture in the mind that you are talking to someone who's not seeing what you're seeing. Don't assume that just because you're there and you see what's going on, that the person on the other end listening doesn't. So it's your job to paint the picture. It's kind of like art in a way. So I just basically describe everything I see. There are some challenges with radio. I think TV, the games are kind of geared towards TV now. But with radio, it's still, I think, the best medium for describing the sport, the actual play-by-play, because you can talk about the description in depth, whereas TV, it's more about the analyst. So I kind of look at radio play-by-play still as an art form. And there are so many good announcers around the country. There's so many here in Central Ohio. Paul Keels is the best. I mean, my goodness, he's been tremendous to listen to and kind of take notes off of. And a lot of good announcers like yourself, Neil at the station. And I think it's just a medium in which I don't want to say it's a lost art, but it's just something that is really special in American sports, I believe.
Paul, finally, I'll allow you to speak about stuff you've gotten involved with, your high school football package, and also your Bishop Watterson loyalty. You've covered all of their athletics this past year. Tell our fans about that and how that came about for you.
Well, in the fall of 2022, got back involved in high school play-by-play on the radio in Delaware County. Bob Kennedy, the late, great Buckeyes PA announcer, was sports director of a station there and needed some help. And I had been out of the business for a couple of years, and Bob got me back into it, kind of got a bug after doing it. I really enjoyed it. We did the game of the week up there, but that meant we would go to different schools each week. I concocted an idea with my partner, Seth Shaner, about, hey, why don't we do one school all the time, all the week? There's high schools that would love to have this type of service where they have play-by-play. So we thought of some schools locally. Bishop Watterson came to mind, given its great tradition, its loyal community and fan base and alumni network. So we approached Watterson, and the last couple of years we've been doing not just the football, That's their primary sport that generates interest, of course. But we've done boys and girls basketball, we've done volleyball, we've done baseball, even some wrestling and hockey, and we air those games on the internet. It's like a radio play-by-play on the internet, and it's been so successful. We've had nothing but compliments from the Waterston community and even opposing teams that really like it. And it's really about making the kids feel special. It's kind of like a throwback to amateur athletics. It's been a tremendous thing to be a part of, and wouldn't trade it for the world.
Paul Barnes, thanks so much for your time, and thank you for joining us this week on the Ohio Sports Magazine. We'll catch you soon, partner.
Sounds great, Matt. Thanks for the time.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
This is big. Rent-A-Center's biggest discount is on. From April 6th to April 12th, take 50% off the total cost to own on all items in-store or online, only at Rent-A-Center. 50% off offer reduces the total amount necessary to acquire ownership pursuant to rental purchase agreement. Offer valid on new agreements entered into April 6, 2025 through April 12, 2025. Participating locations only.
There's a new way to surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and Market District. Shop Giant Eagle's uncompromising quality at a reliable price with everyday savings. Look for signs throughout the store to find bargains on produce, meat, and more. At Giant Eagle, we combine exceptional customer service and quality foods, all at great value to make the most of your shopping trip. Visit Giant Eagle or Market District today to see how easy it is to save.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a mysterious room of long-forgotten, moldy mascot memorabilia. Often pitched by ad agencies, always rejected by NJM. Is it real? We may never know. But what is real is NJM's dedication to doing what's right for their customers. Astoundingly, they're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Learn more at njm.com.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new rotors.
When you buy 2 Duralast rotors during our spring sale, you get Duralast brake pads free.
Free?
With the rotors.
Well, that's great. What if I need extra stopping power?
You can upgrade to Duralast Gold pads for just $10.
So Duralast pads are free?
Yep.
And an upgrade is just $10?
That's right. Part of the spring sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
1-800-GOT-JUNK makes space for possibilities.
When our clean, shiny truck arrives, it's the sign of a new beginning, a clean start, a breath of fresh air.
All the animals start giggling, a rainbow appears, and music fills the air.
Your best friend calls with happy news. Every table has fresh flowers on it, and your nights are full of candlelight.
We bring the springtime.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
For Sunday, we have a chance of rain earlier in the day. Afternoon highs will be in the low 70s, but all eyes will be on the potential for strong to severe storms later in the day on Sunday. Stay with 10 TV for the latest updates. We'll keep you posted. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan. This is ONN.
This past week in Dallas, the College Football Playoff Committee met to discuss the future of the 12-team playoff. Among the issues discussed were possible expansion as well as the seeding of playoff teams. In the first year of the playoff, the top 4 seeds were awarded to conference champions who also received first-round byes. Any changes to the system for 2025 need to have unanimous support from commissioners of the Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, ACC, and the Group of 5 conferences. That includes the American Athletic, Mountain West, Conference USA, Pac-12, and Mid-American. There will also be discussion over automatic qualifiers, which the Big Ten and the SEC want to have several for members of their conferences. Paul Feinbaum covers college football for ESPN. He joined Bo Bishop earlier this week on ONN affiliate WBNS FM in Columbus. Paul says the way playoff teams are selected will be debated for years to come.
They want a complete reexamination of the selection process and how the committee works, and that's why I think they are far more concerned about 26 and beyond than a one-off. So my instinct is that they are still on the same page they were when we last talked. They want guarantees because they don't trust the committee.
You know, we used to have a system that was a basis of polls and computers, and it spit out a number with an algorithm, and these were the teams, and that was that. I thought that worked okay in terms of that, where it used a varying the old BCS model. So, all right, so they want guarantees. Okay, fine. Highest rank makes a lot of sense to me as well. Your employer is a massive part of this as the television partner of record. What does ESPN want the college football playoff to be?
I know this is going to sound like a company line, but it's not intended to be. I have never seen in 12 years of working here any evidence that they really get involved too terribly much in this actual process. I mean, they own it. They outsource it. They're more concerned about the dates and the times than I really believe they care about the matchups. I mean, last year, you saw what they did with the 2 worst matchups. They put them on Turner.
Yeah.
So they don't have as much to be concerned about. And I think ESPN has always been careful about that, and I know that people out there are rolling their eyes here, but I really believe that, and I talk to both sides. I probably get, quite frankly, Bo, more information from the conference officials than I do from my own bosses.
Well, you hit on something, though, that I keep coming back to with this, is if you are the worldwide leader and you have this property, it seems to me like one thing you wouldn't want is to have to farm out part of this process. So my hunch is one thing that they would like is some dates locked in that keep them away from the NFL, that gives them a chance to maximize their product. How much is college football willing to work with the powers that be, the Sankeys, the people and guys who are running the sport? How much are they cognizant of that, of finding a landing spot where your television partner of record can actually air the games?
I think that's really the issue. And even though all these guys get along, Bo, Greg Sankey knows Roger Goodell, and they've been together, and I'm sure Petiti has similar type of relationships. I'm not sure Roger Goodell really cares. He's going to do what he wants to do, and the evidence is already out there. The whole, he has done more damage to ESPN on Christmas Day than he's probably doing with the CFP, because that was a magical day from about 12 o'clock Eastern until midnight in the morning till midnight that ESPN, ABC owned the NBA. That was the only game on, and now they've lost that. I saw the other day where Goodell now wants to put because Christmas is on Thursday. He's going to put 3 games on Christmas, giving Amazon a game. And there's no comparison between some random Knicks Sixers game at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and the Chiefs and the Steelers at the same time.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
Join our resident gambling degenerates Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money Sunday morning at 9.
Presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
All the action, none of the responsibility. The Fan.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
When your sump pump is no longer sumping and pumping, please don't become a sump pump grump.
A sump pump grump thinks whacking the pump will make it start working again.
But it never does.
Get Eco.
ECO. A sump pump grump will let a faulty sump pump completely ruin a perfectly good day.
Fortunately, I've invented a solution.
No more sump pump grump?
No more sump pump grump.
Get Eco.
ECO. Tell me about it, Jerry.
The solution is that you get Eco to do a sump pump inspection.
What would that include?
We check your pump, your battery backup, and all the downspouts and drains along the way to make sure everything is running clear.
How much?
That's up to you, Aaron.
Jerry, Eco would be happy to do that for just $89.
That's a great price.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Go to GetEco.com.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Cosby Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
This is ONN.
Welcome back to the Ohio Sports Magazine. Our Cincinnati segment deals with Central Ohio native Seth Shaner, my friend and the author. He's the host of the Riverfront, the Reds podcast. Seth, your love for the Reds, it all goes hand in hand. And just tell me about the opportunity to work for the Riverfront folks and to get this stuff out on social media.
Well, yeah, we do some different shows there on the Riverfront. It kind of stretches across maybe, generations as far as what would be good for someone. Why would someone want to tune in? We have a show called Late Night Reds. It's a live YouTube show. It airs on Sunday nights. I would argue that's probably a little more for the younger generation. The Riverfront Reds show airs every week. It's a podcast. It comes out on YouTube and on audio form every Friday morning. And then the show that got me a chance to work with the folks there at the Riverfront is called Red Leg Roundtable. That's where I sit down with usually former Reds. Matt, you've been a guest with Jim Kelch, having been the Louisville Bats announcers for many years. I like to tell people's stories as far as, their connection with the Reds goes.
Seth, tell me, first of all, thank you for having us on as we've done this in the past, but tell us about some of the famous Reds, even the not so famous Reds, that you've really kind of renewed your fondness of by doing this show.
Well, I'll tell you, the best thing I can say about that is the first guy was Eddie Taubman. See, he was a catcher. He played for Cleveland and for Cincinnati in his career, but he was the catcher on the 1999 Reds team. And when I started that show a year ago, it was the 25th anniversary of that 1999 team that so many Reds fans remember. They won 96 games and narrowly missed out on the playoffs. But Eddie Taubman agreed to come on, even though I had never done a show like that before. And we sat down for a good 45 minutes to an hour and reminisced about his career, and especially that 1999 season. I've gotten to chat with people like Marty Brennaman, the Hall of Fame broadcaster. I talked with Scott Hatteberg. Scott Hatteberg is featured very prominently in the movie Moneyball, along with the Michael Lewis book. And the stories he was able to tell about the fact that he and his wife were originally cast to play himself and herself, but they dragged their feet so long that they ended up bringing a well-known actor now named Chris Pratt in to play his role. So that was a fun story to talk about. Pokey Reese, Gold Glove second baseman, I had a great chat with him last year right before he got to be the Grand Marshal of the opening day parade. And Hal McCoy, Hall of Fame writer. He was a beat writer from the Big Red Machine all the way up until just a few years ago with the Dayton Daily News. He had stories to tell. And maybe the most prominent player, though, I got to have on was most recent. And all these interviews are available on YouTube and available where you get your podcasts. And they're really evergreen stories. So that, you don't have to worry about the timeliness of them because they're looking back. And the guy that I think was very exciting to get was Greg Vaughn. He hit 45 home runs and was the unquestioned leader along with Barry Larkin on that 1999 team.
Seth Shaner of the Riverfront Podcast, our guest. The tradition of Reds opening day, Seth, you and I have gone to many of these over the years. You started this a long time ago with your grandfather and others, including us. What has that tradition been like for your family as you've continued to go year in after year out?
Well, it means a lot to us. And the funny thing is, the first time I got to go, I was a junior in high school. Actually, I was a sophomore in high school in 1995. The strike had delayed the start of the season, and so tickets kind of fell in my lap. I went with my mom and a couple friends. And then the next year, we didn't even really try to get tickets. And unfortunately, that was the year that the umpire, John McSherry, died in 1996. I believe only 7 pitches in. So they didn't even really have opening day that year. But from 1997 until now, I've gone to every one except for the 2 that were affected by COVID in 20 and 21. My grandfather, Harmon Thomas, he came with me. He missed 1 year when he was under the weather. And then other than that, every year until this year, he's come. And he's 89 years old now. He's suffering from a bit of a bulky ankle, and so he was unable to make the trip this year. But back in 2017, we introduced my son Joey to the tradition. And so he came with me this year, and it is very meaningful. I got to tell you, like, the specific time when it hits me the hardest, and even these last several years with my grandfather, they do the in memoriam of all the Reds players and executives and employees who have passed away in the previous year. And then they do the national anthem, where most recently they have the United States flag that covers almost the entire outfield. And that's when I get a little choked up, and I certainly did this year as they remembered Pete Rose with a very nice, touching tribute. And then I was looking at my son as they played the national anthem, and that's what it means for me. It's family, it's memories, and I've got a whole lot of them with my grandfather and now going forward with my son.
Well said, friend. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your Reds love for our broadcast. And we invite fans to check you out at the Riverfront for your weekly audio.
Oh, thanks so much, Matt, for having me.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling. putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at changethegameohio.org. That's changethegameohio.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
Nearly 90% of Ohio's children grow up, learn, and dream at one of our public schools. As lawmakers continue to hammer out the new state budget, they must make sure the school funding formula reflects what it actually costs to provide a great education for everyone. Tell your lawmakers to keep their promise to Ohio's kids.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Now let's get some highlights from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Here's producer Bodie Wells to set the scene.
Thanks, Jay. On the show this week, the guys discuss what could be the ideal haul for the Cleveland Browns using their first and second round pick in the upcoming 2025 NFL Draft.
All right, Anthony. So Field Yates put out his latest mock draft this morning. I love Field Yates. He's great. Really good dude. And he put out his mock draft. I think we have a graphic. Here we go. So he has Abdul Carter, and everybody, it's trending towards Abdul Carter. Enough! The Browns cannot draft Abdul Carter just because every Tom, Dick, and Harry who thinks they're an NFL expert says, well, this guy's going to be great. First of all, I don't know if he's going to be great or not, Dustin. I don't know if he's going to be great or not.
Listen, every linebacker at Penn State wears number 11 is awesome. So I'm sure he's going to be great. But guess what? The Browns aren't going to win any more games because this guy.
They're not going to. This is it. You turn a franchise around with a quarterback. But no, it's a reach for Shedeur. How do you know? How do we know? How do you know it's a reach? I know this guy took a Jacksonville State program.
Jackson State.
Jackson State, sorry. Who the hell takes Jackson State anywhere? Anybody?
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, Travis Hunter and,
and Shedeur Sanders.
And Shedeur Sanders.
Which we're going to get to in a second. Yeah.
Jackson State. He made him a winner. Then he goes to Colorado.
1-11 year before.
1-11. Arguably the worst major Division I program in the country.
I did call one of their games the year before.
They were
1-11. They were the worst team. They were like Kent State bad.
Okay. Yeah. Kent State bad, for crying out loud. That's bad. For those who don't know, I think you do.
They know.
And then and Dion brought some good players with him. But for the most part, Shedeur and Travis Hunter are the only elite players on that offense, right? Correct. Some decent wide receivers besides them. No running game, no offensive line. All these other quarterbacks that you're talking about, they played at much better programs with much better talent around them. All this guy does, he makes smart decisions, he's accurate, he's intelligent, he's a hard worker. What are the negatives I'm hearing about this guy?
There's no negatives. I mean, I would say that he's a little slight in his build. Yeah. Like he's not the biggest guy in the world.
To catch the full breakdown, just search for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and enjoy their daily content covering all things Cleveland sports. We'll be back to wrap up this week's Ohio Sports Magazine show here on the Ohio News Network.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've lowered prices. You can save 15% or more on hundreds of items like Thomas Mini Bagels, Campbell's SpaghettiOs, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
This is big. Rent-A-Center's biggest discount is on. From April 6th to April 12th, take 50% off the total cost to own on all items in-store or online. Only at Rent-A-Center. 50% off offer reduces the total amount necessary to acquire ownership pursuant to rental purchase agreement. Offer valid on new agreements entered into April 6, 2025 through April 12, 2025. Participating locations only.
When your sump pump is no longer sumping and pumping, please don't become a sump pump grump.
A sump pump grump thinks whacking the pump will make it start working again.
But it never does.
Get ECO. ECO. A sump pump grump will let a faulty sump pump completely ruin a perfectly good day.
Fortunately, I've invented a solution.
No more sump pump grump?
No more sump pump grump.
Get ECO. ECO. Tell me about it, Jerry.
The solution is that you get ECO to do a sump pump inspection.
What would that include?
We check your pump, your battery backup, and all the downspouts and drains along the way to make sure everything is running clear.
How much?
That's up to you, Aaron.
Jerry, ECO would be happy to do that for just $89.
That's a great price.
Get ECO. ECO. ECO plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Go to geteco.com.
Hey, Ohio State fans. While others cut corners, like that team up north, Valvoline Instant Oil Change is Buckeye-level quality. We train hard and treat every day like game day. We're always quick, but never rushed. And you can stay in your car while our experts do the work. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Visit valvoline.com/Buckeyes to find your nearest location and access exclusive fan savings.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new rotors.
When you buy 2 Duralast rotors during our spring sale, you get Duralast brake pads free.
Free?
With the rotors.
Well, that's great. What if I need extra stopping power?
You can upgrade to Duralast Gold pads for just $10.
So Duralast pads are free?
Yep.
And an upgrade is just $10?
That's right. Part of the spring sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we are all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Thank you to Kelly Shanley and Dax McCarty for being guests on Ohio Sports Magazine this week. Thanks to all of our Locked On podcast contributors this week as well. For Bodie Wells, Eric Reeser, and Paul Keels, I'm Jay Fox. Thanks for listening to Ohio Sports Magazine. Join us next week right here on the Ohio News Network.